She said yes. In the quiet elegance of Copenhagen, a moment unfolded that would be whispered about for years to come. Royalty, history, and destiny collided in the blink of an eye. Everyone expected a formal announcement, a measured ceremony. Instead, something intimate, unexpected, and profoundly human happened. The young princess, poised under the Danish sun, met eyes with her future in a way that few had ever seen. It was a gesture, a nod, a word spoken softly, but it carried the weight of crowns and generations. Yet, beneath the regal composure, there was a heartbeat. A nervous excitement that only those closest to her could sense. And in that heartbeat, history was being written. Why did this moment feel different from every other royal engagement ever documented? Perhaps it was the timing, or the setting, or the subtle defiance of tradition. For decades, the world had watched princesses and heirs comply with expectation. This was not compliance. This was a choice, deliberate, filled with emotion and weight. The story begins long before the cobblestone streets of Copenhagen. It begins in Madrid, where family, duty, and expectation shaped a young princess. Her life had always been under scrutiny. Every gesture, every word, every smile observed and recorded. And yet, for the first time, she stepped into a space of vulnerability, where love intersected with legacy, and she made a choice. She said yes. But what led her to that precise moment? The weeks prior were filled with secret meetings, whispered conversations, and moments of uncertainty. The world assumed royal engagements were orchestrated like clockwork, yet behind the scenes, emotion swirled like a storm. Was this union anticipated by advisors? Or was it a personal, heartfelt decision that surprised even the closest counselors? In the gardens of Amalienborg Palace, where history watches silently from every stone, she walked with grace that belied the internal storm. Her companion, poised and equally aware of the magnitude of this encounter, matched her stride, neither rushing nor hesitating. It was as though time itself had slowed, granting them the space to exist fully in the gravity of the moment. The audience of photographers and dignitaries expected a ritual, but what they witnessed was humanity. A laugh, a gentle hand extended, eyes locking with unspoken promises. And in that moment, the world realized that monarchy was not just tradition, it was a living, breathing tapestry of human emotion, of choices made in the quiet corners of grand palaces. There was tension, too. Royal families have histories that span centuries. Expectations, alliances, public scrutiny. Every yes comes with weight. Her choice was not merely about love, it was about legacy. Could personal happiness coexist with duty? Could a princess of Spain embrace desire without forsaking the crown she was destined to inherit? The ceremony itself, modest yet symbolic, reflected this duality. Every detail whispered both tradition and innovation. From the subtle nods to historical protocol to the small acts of personal expression, the event was a testament to the delicate dance of duty and heart. Observers noticed it immediately, a subtle tilt of the head, a smile barely restrained, a glimmer in the eyes that spoke volumes. Behind closed doors, conversations unfolded with family members, advisors, and confidants. The palace halls echoed with both joy and concern. Could a decision this personal ripple across international perceptions of royalty? And yet, even in their deliberations, the inevitability of her choice seemed written into the quiet determination she carried. Every royal engagement creates a story, but few feel alive in the way this one did. Every glance, every gesture, every silent affirmation layered meaning upon meaning. Outside observers saw a picture-perfect moment, insiders understood the depth, the struggle, the courage, the vulnerability. And then came the announcement. She said yes. Not in a grand proclamation, not with fanfare, but in a moment of undeniable authenticity. A simple declaration, yet it resonated far beyond the palace walls. In Spain, Denmark, across Europe, whispers turned to conversation. Social media erupted, commentators speculated, historians contextualized. And through it all, the young princess remained herself, poised, gracious, fully present. But why did this matter so much? Because it humanized monarchy. Because it reminded the world that behind every crown is a person navigating love, family, and expectation. Because it proved that even in the most structured and scrutinized lives, personal choice remains profound. The weeks following were a delicate balance of preparation and celebration. Private moments interlaced with public appearances. Press conferences, family gatherings, informal walks through the palace gardens, all framed by a new reality. She had made her choice, and it was her own. What did this mean for the broader monarchy? Analysts debated the implications. Allies congratulated, skeptics watched, and admirers reflected on the elegance and decisiveness of her yes. Yet for those closest to her, the significance was personal. It was a story of love finding space in a life dictated by history. Of courage quietly asserting itself amidst centuries of expectation. Through all this, one thing remained clear: the young princess, future queen, Spanish monarch, had acted with grace. Her yes was more than a word, it was a testament to the human heart thriving within royal constraint. And in that affirmation, the world glimpsed a monarch who understands both responsibility and desire, duty and love. As the months unfolded, the public glimpsed the ripples of her decision. Invitations were extended, ceremonies planned, and international attention intensified. Yet amidst the fanfare, there remained a simplicity, a truth that resonated deeply. She had chosen, and in choosing, she had affirmed both herself and her destiny. The story of that yes is not merely about engagement or ceremony. It is about the evolution of royalty, the intersection of personal and public life, and the power of authenticity in spaces historically defined by expectation. It is about love, yes, but also about courage, identity, and the subtle strength of one young woman preparing to inherit a crown. Every royal appearance since has carried the echo of that moment. A glance, a gesture, a smile, a reminder that love had not only entered the palace but had done so with clarity, courage, and grace. And for historians, fans, and the world, the question remains: how will this yes shape the future? How will it influence alliances, perceptions, and the next chapter of European royalty? In the end, the answer is not just in the ceremony or the announcement. It is in her poise, her presence, her unwavering grace. She said yes, but in saying yes, she showed the world what it means to navigate life as a royal with heart, intelligence, and dignity. And as the sun set over Copenhagen, the palace walls seemed to whisper a new story, a story of love, choice, and legacy intertwined. A story that had begun quietly, yet would echo through generations. She said yes. And with that simple affirmation, history felt a little more human, and royalty a little more alive.